Okay, Diane, can we have the let's call the meeting to order, 7:00 something? 7:02?
7:02.
And Diane, if you can take roll call, please.
Sure. Dave Dickinson is absent. Dan Colzo,
Is here.
Dawn Kiefler,
Here.
Pat Leach is not here. Brian McCarty,
Here.
Bill Ott,
Here.
Rob Riley.
Here.
Wonderful. Everybody have a chance to look at the previous meeting minutes.
Yes.
Mhm.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Brian. Is there a second? By
Bill.
Bill.
Yeah.
Those approve the minutes, say aye.
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 Minutes are approved. Do we have any public comments, Jen?
We didn't the last time I checked, but let me give it one more try here and see what we've got. And the answer would be no.
Did everybody receive that email from that resident in Blackberry regarding the ice rink?
No, that was just,
No.
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 Is that considered a public comment, or should that just be ignored?
I mean, we can talk about it under 6B if you like.
Okay,
They were invited to the meeting and did express some interest in attending. So I would
Right.
just suggest we do it under 6B.
okay. All right. Updates on the Elburn Station Park. I drove by. It's looking really good.
Yeah, it is. They're making terrific progress. Thankfully, we've had dry weather. Thankfully, we've had cold weather as well that keeps the dirt, from tracking around. They were out there today. It looked like spreading some more ground cover around the playground area. Looks like they've got most of the ball field completed.
Mhm.
And tomorrow, I believe we expect delivery of the shelter.
Oh,
Yeah.
Right.
very good.
So it's moving along. We are about at the end of Blackberry Township's participation, monetary participation. But we still have the 200,000 that we were given from the state, and the village and Chodine will be picking up the rest. And then, excuse me, upon completion of the project, assuming that IDNR signs off, we will receive another check for $200,000.
Very good. We
well,
had any,
I was going to say, I don't know where we're at as far as the budget or an estimated cost right now, but I do know that it will be more than the 800,000.
how about any new leads on donors?
I haven't heard anything.
Okay. I know that in the minutes, there was some talk about some potential donors for that pickleball court or shelter, or nothing on your end, Brian? Haven't heard anything?
Yes, I do have a donor reaching the $25,000 for the naming rights. So I think I need to meet with John and look at the plans and see what section of the park could be renamed.
How much are they looking for? Would they be happy with a field, or?
I think we need to discuss what we're willing to have renamed, and then I'll bring the contributor in for kind of like a drive-through and see if that meets his qualifications for his donation.
Okay. Seems that's a pretty big park to have the entire park named after you for 25K.
Yeah.
I agree, and he agrees. That's why we're
Okay.
gonna pick maybe a section or the actual playground area, or I think that's something we need to, as it's getting more completed and I bring our donor around. But he's definitely says he will commit to 25.
Okay, that's good.
Well, Brian, you let me know when you want to discuss, and we can set something up to meet out there as well if you'd like.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. That's good. That's all you got for that, John?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's moving along. I think he's ahead of schedule, or at least on schedule. And thankfully, we've had good weather, so he continues to plug away.
Yeah, because it's pretty much the earthwork is just about done, right?
Most of it, yeah.
So we get
There's still some that needs to be done, but he's gotten the vast majority of it done.
and we have till the end of May or mid-May,
April 15th.
April 15th.
Is that for phase one or both phases?
Well, right now, there's only one phase.
Okay,
And that's what we're worried about is the OSLAD grant money. And that expires at April 15th. And that's
Okay.
the 400,000.
So what,
Um,
so Bill, what I think we're looking at as far as the committee is that once this phase one is complete, then we have an idea for phase two. I'm not sure how much of phase two you're aware of. But that'll probably come after we find out what's going to happen with the community center property.
okay,
So it might be, it won't be, I don't think it'll be next year. Probably be the year after that, the soonest. So just kind of give you an idea on the timeline of what we're kind of working on.
okay. I talked with, on my end here at Elburn Station, trying to backdoor, you had mentioned connecting the two paths, the
mhm.
one from, and they, Shodine had told me that their land and development person, I think it's Bob Skidmore,
Mhm.
that he's gonna be in contact with the general contractor and see what they can do, come up with.
He has asked the general contractor Wilkinson for a quote to do that.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's gotten a number back yet or not. So they're looking at it.
okay.
I think maybe Public Works should put in a paving machine on the next year's budget and they can do
Yeah.
it as themselves. I'm sure Phil would like that.
Yeah, he's always looking for something to do.
Yeah. All right, ice rink. We're just waiting for cold weather. How are we with the signage? Did you guys get anywhere with that?
I asked the guy who gave us an estimate last time. He was gonna give me fresh numbers, but he had a medical procedure. So I'm still waiting for the new numbers. I think it's gonna be close to what it was before, though. The original estimate, so original design. Where we can interchange the sign, skate or no skate kind of thing.
Right,
So I think the estimate is still gonna be close to the same, but
okay. Well,
I'm waiting for the official. I just asked him again, so hopefully
Okay.
I'll hear something soon.
all right. And hockey nets are coming at the end of January?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I sent the email I got from that to you and Bill. Originally, they're supposed to be in about the first week, and it looks like they've been pushed back about another week, 10 days.
We don't have any ice yet, so that's
Right.
okay.
And if we don't use them this year, we'll find a place to keep them, and we'll have them next year.
Right.
I think we're waiting. I think January is gonna be when it's gonna be ready. It seems December. It's gonna be
Yeah.
mild. Although it was feel like 8 this morning, but I think it's got to be consistent.
Yeah, it's got to be consistent. So what the next step is that liner. And obviously, we'd like to do it when it's somewhat warm and then followed by significant cold weather afterwards. We have to have Phil drop it off on a weekday, preferably. I don't want to waste this Saturday getting it out there. It's almost like we're just going to have to keep looking at our emails and then chatting with each other to see when this is going to happen. You'll probably get 1 day notice, maybe. Let's try for Friday, Saturday, something like that. Is really all I can say for right now. Won't take us all that terrible long to put it in. But I was eyeing this weekend as a possibility. So
Let me give you my number too after the meeting. That might be quicker if you could text me. I mean, I check my email, but
Okay,
might be faster.
all right. I have a commitment Friday afternoon. So, I mean, Saturday I'm open. If we want to try it Saturday,
Me too. I
Yep.
can do so.
probably have Phil drop the liner off on Friday sometime and should be okay sitting there for one day. And then we'll take it from there. Sound like a plan so far?
Yes.
Do you want to contact Phil or do you want me to, or wait until you guys firm up your plans?
I'll contact Phil tomorrow, give him a heads up. And then see if he's got any issues,
Okay.
and then we'll see. All right, that's about all we have for that ice rink right
You
now.
say you had a letter or something from somebody? Did somebody complain about it or have someone
Oh,
say?
no, thanks for reminding me. A resident in Blackberry inquired about the village installing an ice rink over at Heritage Park. So John replied and pointed out the logistics in putting up an ice rink, and hopefully she's deterred from that. So
It needs
We'll see.
HOA approval or, right?
what's that?
Doesn't it need HOA approval and,
Well, that was one of the things that John pointed out.
You know, I mean, technically speaking, no, it doesn't need HOA approval, but just being good neighbors, you know, I mean, no different than when we were talking about putting in a community garden over there, or, you know, all the other ideas that we
Right.
had for Heritage. You know, we ran it by the HOA, and you know, the feedback that we got from people over there that they were rather
pretty-
vocal that they didn't want anything
right?
in that park.
Right. So, and I don't think, and once you tell people that they're gonna have to maintain it themselves, basically, because I'm not volunteering to maintain a second ice rink. So you guys can. So that's what that was about, Dawn, and we'll see what
Okay.
happens. See if we hear anything more out of that. You got attached, you've got the proposed budget or wish list, as it really is. Comments, questions on that? My first comment is, John, we had talked about the community center price tag. And I wonder if I should just enter that instead of 180K, just enter it as 85K? Because we're not doing it without the grant.
Maybe.
So
Well,
I'm looking at the bottom line.
yeah. The thing I'd want to ask, just so we can go over this so that I understand it, park events, 3,000. What, I mean, I know that we had talked about doing, 4 or 5, maybe 6 movie nights at $400 a piece.
Right?
Was there anything else on that?
Whatever comes up, it could be, it's a number pulled out of air, so it's probably inflated from what we're
Okay.
actually probably gonna do. So we
All
can
right.
trim, but right now it looks like movies, and who knows if we get a band shell, put a stage, you might get a couple bands in there too. Those are about a
Was-
couple $100 a pop too, so.
Was that in here, the band shell?
Probably not. Well, electric service at the park, no,
Yeah.
we'll have to put the band shell in there.
Okay. And what were you thinking about park grills?
Just barbecue grill at the various parks, just throwing things out there. Couple $100 a piece, I think I had on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just an idea.
Okay. The community center, that may be a go without a grant.
Okay,
So I would leave that 180 in there.
all right.
I just, I had read something that just came out from the Illinois Municipal League, and by executive order from Governor Pritzker, they are reducing the number of grants that are going to be available next year, just trying to reduce their budget.
Mhm.
So I'm not expecting a whole lot of availability for OSLAD.
Okay,
And so, there has been, a lot of positive talk on the board about trying to do something at the community center, trying to do something for the community on the north side.
right.
And, with that being the focus. So I would leave that number in there.
Okay,
Some landscaping. What are you talking about for the LEDs at Veterans Park?
we'd like to get those things working again. I know that there's two units that are buried out there that operate that LED. And at one time I looked into that, and if I thought I could find a complete replacement for maybe $1,000 a piece, it might be as simple as changing a couple components. I don't know. I'd have to get in there and really look at it. And then there's always the wall switch in the office.
Mm-hmm.
If that's still working, and if it's not, can it be bypassed? So it's going to take a little bit of investigating. That's not going to happen until we get some decent weather in the spring. Also, let's see, part of that part of that work out there at the park is trying to do something with those flagpole holders, maybe core a hole in the concrete up there so that it's not in the way of mowers and it's a little more stable.
Okay.
Those two items are what we'd be looking for.
And weed control,
Just general maintenance.
because I believe Public Works already does weed at Prairie Park, Veterans Memorial. HOA does it down in Blackberry.
We had Prairie Park get away from us last year, or was it the year before?
Year before, yeah.
Yeah.
Don
So
pulled a lot of the weeds too, so.
Yeah, yeah.
You're talking in the mulch, not the grass, but in the mulch.
in the
Okay.
mulch playground area, in case we need a special application or special attention somewhere.
Okay.
I mean, we can strike it. Just,
No, that's fine. I want to make sure that if I put this into the budget, I know what the intent is.
yeah, it's for the playground areas that aren't typically subject to your routine weed management program.
Okay. And then the two porta-johns, I think I can get LRS under our contract to put those out there at no cost.
Okay.
I'd add a point, can we double the price of construction on those? I did talk to John about doing a more secure, where it slides in and out of a structure.
Oh,
Definitely more than 250.
like Lions Park?
Yeah, like Lions Park.
Yeah, they have like a surrounding.
So we could do 500 a shelter, take that line item and just make it strictly for the
Shelters.
porta-john shelters for $1,000. Is that what we're looking at, is 2 locations, John?
Well, we've got one for Prairie Park and one for Elburn Station Community Park.
Okay. So we'll have two constructs at $500 a piece for a line item of 1,000.
Okay.
Are we heavy on the bike racks? We've been talking about bike racks and they haven't really been popping up, have they?
No.
The pad at Elliott Park just got put in, and I'm just waiting for the bolts to secure it. So I'll do that probably this weekend.
Are you putting an ice liner in, an ice rink liner in this weekend?
I have time.
All right, then we'll leave that there.
I think it's excessive. I don't think we're gonna do 8.
5.
I'm sorry, 5, because the amount of flat work that took was a lot more labor intensive than I imagined. We didn't have a truck come in with, those were all poured by hand,
All mixed by hand?
by bags, yes.
You're a professional at that. You're an old hand.
I don't even know where we would do 5.
Yeah, I was wondering that too. Like, where are some of the?
Well, you just figure at
Big
each
Obscurity
one in
has
each park,
bike racks.
downtown, wherever.
Yeah, I mean,
It's an
other than-
arbitrary number.
oh, maybe, and I don't know. But
You want to take a couple out, put 2 bike racks in? You're gonna need one. Do we have a bike rack in the Elburn station as part of the design?
Good question. I don't know.
I don't
We
remember.
probably need one at Elburn station. Then you
Yeah.
want the one at Elliott. Anywhere there's,
Yeah,
Prairie already has one.
yeah, they do have an older one, but yeah, it still works.
And I don't know if Bayerhoff needs one.
Yeah,
Uh,
I don't think they
Liberty.
have one. But
Liberty could use one. I mean, there's places we could put them, but
Yeah.
you know, all the village can say is, no, you don't need that many.
right.
So,
Well, at some point, maybe we can put a map together where all our bike racks are. You know, something we can put on the Facebook page so people know.
so you volunteered for that, Rob?
Sure.
All right, good job.
See if
Thank
I
you.
make it fancy.
Yeah.
You can list where we put our benches in too.
Yeah, I started taking pictures of them for the Facebook. I saw one at Blackberry, like Willow, and then the one at Conley.
Hmm.
So I went and bought the stainless steel screws, Dawn. So as soon as the plaques come in,
Okay,
get with you and I'll go and do that myself.
So-
okay.
So John, item 6, electric service at the Prairie Park, that's for that band shell?
Hmm.
And I just threw that number together and I'm figuring just a pedestal, a meter pedestal right next to the transformer that has 2 outlets, couple circuit breakers in it, and potential for a sub-panel feed somewhere else.
Okay.
So that's what that is included there. Hopefully that's a heavy number too. I went a little heavy on the numbers. So, any other questions, comments about the budget?
We don't have any idea about the band shell.
That's Pat's baby. Well, let's say band shell would probably be close to what these shelters are.
Now, about, John and I were talking to have it elevated, probably about 25 to 30,000.
Really?
With electricity.
Okay.
Because like you said, Dan, it's gonna require a panel.
Okay, we'll throw that in there.
And the donors for Elliott Park are interested in contributing to that also.
Oh, very good.
Nice.
Cool.
Okay.
I'm thinking for number 1, the park events, maybe, I don't know, we just put a little note on the side to say that some of this can be, you know, the cost could be offset by sponsors.
Yeah, Metronet's interested.
Yeah. And if we ever do do a park event, like, you know, a bike one or whatever we've been talking about, we can, hopefully that can help too, some of these costs.
We do four movies at $400 a piece at 1,600.
Yeah.
So you get 3 bands at 200 a piece, that's 600. So you're at 2,200 already, just for that. So I can tweak it to 2,500.
You know, and the other thing too is that if Metronet holds to their word and they want to sponsor a series or whatever, you know, their cost will be offset as well.
Mm-hmm. Good. Exercise
So with
trail
the
equipment.
gazebo removed?
Say that again?
You want the gazebo removed?
Yeah, that was I didn't proof my, we'll strike that. And the miscellaneous bridge work too.
And concrete repairs?
Yeah, I think we're done with that.
Okay.
What about exercise trail equipment? You guys want to try and do something? with that this year?
I want to chirp in a little bit. If I remember our last meeting, we were talking about splitting them up in two different locations or multiple. My experience, I think they would get used better if they were in one location. So you wouldn't have one on the north side of town and then one in Blackberry. So I would say unless we could find a location where we could, have 4 or 5 or 6 of them, in a nice area where you could do some training. I don't know if they would get used that much. If you only have one here and one there and so on and so forth.
Yeah, it all depends on how many pieces we want to invest in.
Yeah,
But yeah, we could do 4 or 5 at a location. We don't have
Yeah.
that many. I think we were talking Prairie Park along the walkway in there.
Yeah, but I think that's changed now, though, if we're gonna do movies there. I guess we could still do it on the outside, but.
You could do it on the outside of that walk if you wanted to, or further down, or you don't have to do it there at all.
No.
So put them all along Anderson Road.
There you go.
So,
so do you want me to look into that more on, as far as getting an exact cost or finding a suitable location or what?
well, you can continue to work on it. I think the 10 grand is an okay number for
Yeah.
a budget. Because I think that we've looked into packages before,
Mm-hmm.
and they're all over the place. Depends on what you get and who makes
Yes.
it and
There's
such.
supposed to be a scout project at one point too, I think.
Yeah,
You give us budgets.
I would say let's turn it around this way, Bill. See, 10 grand.
Okay, that sounds good. Are we limited to, does it have to be a public location, like Park District property or?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, just double checking.
Yep.
And I've got obviously you can search online for all that, Bill, but I also have a bunch of catalogs too.
Okay,
Any other comments about the list? When, if we go forward with this community center project, when should we start talking to Hitchcock about it?
I'm taking a look at our budget schedule right now, so hold on just a second. I'm going to assume he doesn't have it on here as far as parks, but I'm going to imagine it falls underneath the admin budget, and that would be on January 19th. I already had a different company lined up other than Hitchcock
Okay,
to take a look at it. And for the life of me, I can't remember the name of the company, but it was comparable to the original cost for design that Hitchcock had done for Elburn Station.
okay. Is Hitchcock on a contract or are they just on a piecemeal?
Well, they're on contract for Elburn Station only.
Okay, all right, just curious.
So, and that would be another thing that we'd have to add to this budget, and that would be about 12 to 13 grand for design.
Now,
But I think that your 180 would probably cover that.
that's what I'm hoping. Yeah, so then no matter who we use, we should probably talk to them February, start kind of planning,
Yeah,
and then have it ready so that when if everything gets approved, when the weather breaks in, March or April, start working on it.
well, if you remember from if we try the Oslade route, if they actually have money this year, that application won't happen until the fall. Because
Okay.
I had to go down in, I think it was December or January to make the presentation down in Springfield. And
Mhm.
then the grants weren't awarded until about May or June.
Okay, so
Um,
when do we, you think Hitchcock, and I just say Hitchcock just because that's the only one I know.
Right.
These planners they should have a feel or a notification where the state is with the grants.
Yes,
In the spring, they should know if something's gonna be released or not.
I would hope that they would start to hear something around January 1st
Yeah,
about a possible schedule. Like I said, though, I'm not counting on an OSLAD just because I don't think the state's going to have the money.
mhm,
And, you know, if we don't get a grant, and then we've got the money in there to move forward.
okay. All right,
I have
well,
a
I guess,
question on that. We're talking about the community center after we have a lease with them to tear down the current playground and redo it. Is that correct?
Yes.
So I'm not sure why Hitchcock, why we'd have to use them. Why wouldn't we just put out for bid that we're gonna do this and let the playground equipment people come in with a design, kind of like what we did with Elliott Park? We didn't
Well,
use Hitchcock for that.
I guess you could do that if you're not applying for a grant. I would, I instinctively refer to Hitchcock, also thinking that we're applying for a grant. So if there's no grant, then you can do it yourself, I guess.
It's definitely a consideration. You know,
Yep.
if we don't have to spend 12 grand, you know, for somebody to tell us where to put a swing set and a slide, great.
So, all right, well, it's just something that we'll just have to keep revisiting monthly to see where we're at. Any other business?
Did the lady that wanted the bench plaque, did she get a hold of you or? John, no?
She emailed me and I emailed her with
Okay.
details, and then I have not heard back from her again.
Okay.
So I don't know if that means she's not interested or she just hasn't gotten back to me.
Okay. Thanks.
John, you want me to fine tune this wish list and send it to you, or are you gonna do it? I can do it. I don't have a
Yeah,
problem.
why don't you go ahead and do it, Dan?
Okay,
And then also I will let you know, make sure that you've got the 19th available on your calendar.
for this month?
No, for next month, as we go to budget in front of the board.
Oh, okay.
19th. 19th is our next Parks Commission meeting though.
Yeah, let me take a look at my calendar. I thought he said it was the 19th. Okay, no, our next Parks Committee meeting will be on the 20th because the 18th is a holiday, I believe.
Okay.
So it's still the 19th for the board. Next meeting's the 20th. Okay. All right, I'll keep it open. Any other business? Going once, going twice, motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Okay. Second by Brian. We are adjourned. 7:36.